You'd have to be crazy to compare Victor Wembanyama to a bench player like Bol Bol. Yeah, they're both 7 foot something with handles and a 3-point shot, but Wemby's a generational player. Bol's barely hanging on to the league, but when you force people to say why they don't compare, they struggle. That's why it took guts for Shaq to say this on national television.
He's never seen a guy like Wembyama. Yes, you have. His name is Bol Bol.
You think Bol Bol?
Wembyama is just way more consistent than Bol Bol.
Are you comparing Wembyama to Bol Bol?
Bol Bol is the first 7'4" guy that we've seen come out with the handle, shoot the threes. Yes, y'all acting like y'all ain't never seen a guy like that before. Bol Bol's the first guy.
And you know what? He's right. And props to Shaq for doing that. He knew he'd get clowned on the set by Chuck and all over the internet. But Bol Bol is the first 7-foot+ guy who can block shots, dribble like a point guard, and hit threes. So why is Victor Wembanyama so much better? Well, you can actually explain it, and I'm upset those guys didn't tell Shaq this on TV. The internet fell in love with Bol Bol in the bubble. In his debut, kid blocked a shot on one end, then dribbled up and hit a 3 on the other. All you had to do back then was make a Bol Bol video and your YouTube channel did numbers like Mr. Beast. The problem was NBA coaches didn't love him that much, and what do they know? Oh, that's right, they watch entire games, not just highlights on Twitter. Yes, Bol can dribble through his legs on a step back just like Wemby. He can catch and shoot threes. Wemby can too. They both block shots like an adult at recess. Everyone said Bol just needs an opportunity. So in 2022, he moved from the Nuggets to the Magic, from backup to the best center in the game, to a rebuilding team to get minutes. And at first, it looked like the Twitter experts were right. Bol broke out. During a 10-game stretch to start the year, he averaged 16 a game, 45% from 3, 8 boards, and 2 blocks. But he got fewer and fewer minutes. Was this just another coach who was biased against Bol Bol? No. It was Bol getting exposed the more opportunity he got. What Twitter doesn't show you are the missed shots and defensive assignments. The last half of the season, he averaged 6 points a game, shooting 9% from 3. That is not a typo. His rebounds went to 4 per game for a guy who's over 7 feet tall. And the Magic waived him despite rebuilding. Look, if the best team gets rid of you, then the worst team cuts you, there's not many other places you can go. So what went wrong? It turns out, given enough time, Bol's strengths become his weakness. That 3-point shooting, he went 2 full months without making a single one. In fact, whenever Bol is outside the paint, he's an offensive liability. Last year, he scored 84% at the basket, which is elite, but only 2.6 shots per game. But away from the basket, 37%. That is Russell Westbrook bad. Oh, and those guard-like handles? Well, Bol doesn't ever pass the ball, and when he does, it's sloppy. Last season, for every 1 assist Bol had, he had 2 turnovers. Do you know how frustrating that is for a coach who's trying to build team chemistry? Wemby, on the other hand, is a very good passer. Look at him fake this shot, then dart one to his teammate. Wemby doesn't even need the ball to be effective. He lets the game come to him like a 10-year vet. So if you look at the highlights, Wemby and Bol are the same. But that's like saying Alperen Şengün is basically Nikola Jokic. Yeah, I could make them look the same in highlights, but we all know it's no comparison. But right after Shaq said that, Wemby made him look stupid. The Spurs jumped out to a huge lead over the Suns early. Like this. I mean, it's not even fair. Wemby's teammates can just throw it up near the basket and he'll dunk it. Why are they guarding him with Eric Gordon? But in the 4th quarter, the Suns came all the way back to tie the game. Then, in the final minutes, Wemby took over. He outscored the Suns 10-5 by himself, at the rim and shaking off his defender to hit threes. Wemby was the best player on the court with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. 2 top 10 players as a rookie. With any other rookie, we'd hear the coach saying like, yeah, he's young, look, he's just gotta learn how to win in this game. Not Wemby. He came in the NBA clutch. He grew up in Europe against grown men. Compare that to AAU. Guys like Bol Bol are always playing against other people their age, so if they're talented, they're always the best player on the court. So Bol's numbers in college are very similar to Wemby's in France at the exact same age, 18 years old. When they both got to the league though, the difference was obvious. Bol and Wemby are the same type of player, but Wemby's 10 times better at all those skills and consistent. It's like comparing an expensive suit to one like off the rack at Walmart. Hey, they're both suits. They do the same thing, but at totally different levels. One is a perfect tailored fit that makes you look great. The other is just sloppy. But there is one thing that Wemby should be very worried about. We have never seen a player get this kind of hype. Even Kevin Durant is amazed. And KD is one of the smartest players we have, and he knows NBA history. So when Durant says this, it's impressive.
We both skinny, and I'm sure he said he watched me growing up, but he's his own player. I don't think I'm sure he watched so many great players in the league and try to emulate just about everybody. You could tell in his enthusiasm for the game. You know, you could tell that through the TV and playing against him. So he's his own player person. He's gonna create his own lane. It's much different than anybody who's ever played. You could try to compare, but he's gonna carve out his own lane.
But the problem with all this hype is it cuts both ways. Anytime a player gets put on a pedestal, he always gets knocked off. When Luka broke out, everyone was like, oh my God, this is LeBron James and Larry Bird. I can't believe he got picked third. He's not a soft European. He's the next MVP. Then as soon as he didn't live up to that, the media made him pay. You know what? He's fat. No, he complains to the refs way too much. It's happened with LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. It doesn't matter who you are. The media will turn on Wemby. It'll probably be because of an injury. It could be from how skinny he is. I mean, we've already seen that you can push him around a bit. So Wemby has to block out all the noise from day one, good and bad, which is really tough, especially if you're young. It is human nature to want to listen to all the positive praise. But Ja Morant and Zion were victims of this. So when the media turned on them, it made the problem even worse. But Wemby seems a lot more mature than that, and Greg Popovich will no doubt keep him humble. This dude is way better than Bol Bol, but I'll bet the hype dies off sooner than people think. But how good can Wemby be? I mean, a former Celtics player just said he could win MVP. I know that sounds crazy, but what would that actually look like? Two rookies have actually won NBA MVP. So I took a look at what Vic would have to do to be an all-star, all-NBA, and MVP.